Good morning, students. Welcome to our online class. I'm Ms. Mohana Sundari, Department of Chemistry. In this session, we are going to discuss about Chapter 2, that is Elements, Compounds and Mixtures. So, these are the learning objectives we are going to discuss. Elements, symbols of elements, compounds, mixtures and types of mixtures. Matter. Anything that occupies space and has mass is called matter. About matter we will study in next lesson. So now we can see now the classification in matter. So the pure substance and another one is mixture. Pure substance further classified into two types, that is elements, and another one is compound. Mixture means impure substance, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Generally, what is matter? It may be anything, your pen, pencil, gold, carbon dioxide, petrol, sugar, water, oil, milk. So these are all called matter. So we have to understand what are the things present in matter, so that only this classification is made of. So matter is classified into pure substance and impure substance, that is mixture. Pure substance is further classified into elements and compounds, and mixture further classified into homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Okay, the first one, pure substance. A pure substance is made up of only one kind of particle, that is one type of matter. You can take one substance which is made up of same substance, that means only one type of particle is called pure substance. So you can take example gold. Gold is made up of full and full gold particles, so that each and every particle present in gold will be identical. So water is also made up of full and fully water molecules, that is H2O. So you can take one drop of water, means that one drop of water also made up of water molecules. So you can take 1 liter of water, means that 1 liter of water is also made up of same single water molecules. So the particle present in pure substance will be identical, that means same type of substance. So it has same composition throughout its mass, so that we are call it as a homogeneous. So same type of composition, same level of composition. Water molecules means H2O. So same composition, you can see that full water will be in same type, that means homogeneous. We can differentiate into 2 layers or 3 layers or 2 types or 3 types. Fully it will be water molecules, we can tell it as a only water. If I am mixing sand, means you can see that sand is mixed in the water. So there I can see that sand, it is settling down. So that is not a same composition. But you can take a pure water, means it will be in same composition, so that we can call it as a homogeneous. That means homogeneous is nothing. Homogeneous means it's look like same. We cannot differentiate that. And also it has fixed composition as well as fixed melting and boiling point. Fixed composition. So water molecule means H2O. There is a fixed composition. So that fixed composition, there will be fixed melting and boiling point. So you can take an ice cube, at particular temperature it starts melting. At the same water you keep it in a gas stove and you giving heat to that, means at particular 100 degrees Celsius, at particular temperature it starts boiling. So due to its fixed composition, pure substance have fixed melting and fixed boiling point. It cannot be separated into other kinds of matter by any physical process. We cannot separate that water molecule like that hydrogen, oxygen, we cannot separate them, because these are all pure substance. So we cannot separate into another substance, or we cannot separate them by any process. So example for pure substance mean gold, copper, water, salt. So these are all examples for pure substance, because the gold is made up of full and full gold particles. Copper is made up of full and full copper. Water is made up of full and full H2O molecules. And salt is made up of sodium chloride. So like that, the full particles will be identical, so that this here comes under pure substance. Pure substance is further classified into elements and compounds. Elements means example gold, copper, these are all elements, and compounds means water. Two or more elements are combined, right? Hydrogen is one element, oxygen is one element. So these two elements are combined to give compounds. So elements means only one element, that means one particular thing. Compound means two elements are combined to give one particular substance, that is compounds. An element is a substance which cannot be separated into two or more simpler substances by the chemical methods. So the separation is based on physical methods and chemical methods. In elements, if we take in one element, oxygen means we cannot separate into more simpler substance. By in chemical methods also we cannot separate them. Physical method is never, and chemical method also we cannot separate that oxygen into two or more simpler substance, because the atoms present in that oxygen is identical and it comes under pure substance. So we cannot separate them into two or more simpler substance. So we cannot split them into two or more simpler substance because it made up of only one kind of atoms. You can take helium, means that means helium gas we are filling in that balloon, no? So that helium gas is fully made up of helium molecules, helium atoms. Like that gold, you can take one bar of gold, one biscuit of gold, means the presence of particles will be gold. So all the thing, the presence of particle which is in gold is gold atoms. So they are all identical, they are all very pure, so we cannot separate them, or we cannot split them into two or more substance. So the elements, so how many elements are in our world, means there are 118 elements. 94 elements occur in nature. So naturally we can obtain that 94 elements, and 24 are artificial, that is man-made elements. Elements are further classified into metals, non-metals and metallites. Metals, non-metals and metallites. Metal means iron, copper, aluminum, zinc, silver, gold, platinum, chromium. So these are all examples for metals. So what is metal? Why we are separating into metals, non-metals, metallites, means depending upon their properties. So metals means have some properties like malleable, ductile, lustrous, sonorous, hard, good conductors. Malleable means we can able to break them, able to make into some of the substance, but we cannot, without breaking them we can make into some shape. Malleable means we can make the metal into further shape what we want. So like thin sheets, we can beat it and make it into thin sheets. Like aluminum foils in food packagings, we can see that aluminum foils are used. So like that, without breaking that element, that means I already told we cannot split that element. So without making that element, we can make into several other shapes, like thin sheets or some further shape what we want. So that is called malleable. So ductile, we can stretch into that wires. So copper is a metal. We can see that copper is used to conduct electricity. In our home, we all give electricity supply to our home. So the wires which conducts electricity is made up of copper. So the metals which can stretched into wires, that means ductile. We can stretch that metals into wires. As well as lustrous, shining, it looks shiny. So silver, gold and all, it looks shiny. So this called lustrous character will be in metals. And sonorous, if we beat them means it will produce some sound. So that is, if we striking that metal means it produce some sound. So that is the character of metals, and it will be very hard to break and hard to modify into some other substance. So this also comes under the properties of metals. And good conductors, I already told, they will conduct electricity. So these are all good conductors. They will conduct heat also. So these are all the properties, that means characters of metals. But non-metals are just opposite to metals. What I said now, the malleable, ductile, lustrous, sonorous, hard, these are all not present in non-metals. So opposite to metals is non-metals. And metalloids. Metalloids means some elements will show both the metal and non-metal characters. Sometimes it will be malleable but do not produce sound, that means sonorous. Sometimes it will be lustrous but they are bad in conducting some things, electricity, that like. So they will show the intermediate properties. If one character will be like metal and another character will be a non-metals, so this is called metalloids. Okay, like example for metalloids are boron, silicon, germanium and arsenic. These are all example for metalloids. So the elements which show some properties of metals and some other properties of non-metals are called metalloids. The next one, symbol of elements. I already said 118 elements are there in our world. It is easy to memorize that all the names with the spellings? No, it's very hard. So we can represent by symbols. So symbols are used to represent an atom of an element. So symbols are used to represent of an atom. ஒரு எலமெண்ட்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஆட்டமை ரெப்ரசன்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நம்ம சிம்பிள்ஸை யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். So a symbol represents one atom of an element. First, John Dalton introduced the pictorial symbols to represent elements. He drawn some pictorial symbols. So like hydrogen means one circle with a center dot. Carbon means a circle with shaded. Oxygen means a plain circle. So like that we can see hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, phosphorus. So this is a pictorial symbols which is represented by John Dalton to represent the elements, but it is very hard to memorize. So if you are writing oxygen means we can draw it, if you are writing carbon means we can draw it. So it is very hard to memorize as well as and hard to write also. So after that pictorial representation by Dalton, the next method Jacob Berzelius suggested a simple system, that is representing a elements by letters of that elements, by the first letter of an element. So guidelines, shall we see now the guidelines. The first letter from the name of the element is taken as the symbol for that element. So the first letter should be written in a capital form. If we are taking hydrogen element means the first letter of hydrogen is H, so it should be written in capital H. Oxygen, capital O. Carbon, capital C. Nitrogen, capital N. Boron, capital B. So this is the first point that Jacob Berzelius suggested to write the symbols in a simple system. And the second guideline is, in case the first letter is already used, so we have to use another letter or another prominent letter next to that first letter. So like calcium, Ca. We already written carbon as capital C. So for calcium also we have to write Ca. No, calcium, chlorine, copper, cadmium, cobalt, these are all starts with C. Is it possible to write these all elements with C? No, only carbon I written as C. So for the remaining elements the prominent letters will be used. So calcium means Ca, barium means Ba, chlorine means Cl, platinum means Pt, palladium means Pd. So these, like, in case of first letter will be used means already it is used means the second letter or another letter will be added, but that second letter will be in small letter, not in a capital. We have to write that in a small. So the third point is, the symbols of some elements are derived from other languages. So sodium means we cannot write as S or So from other languages. So other languages, sodium is named as a natrium in another language. So from that we are writing Na. Potassium means Kalium, K. Iron means ferrum, Fe. Copper means cuprum, Cu. Lead means plumbum, Pb. So these are all the 3 points. That's a simpler way to memorize the elements as well as writing the symbols of the elements. So this is one mind trick. So to memorize the first 10 letters of elements, we can say it like a rhyme. Hi, hello, lion below burning car needs oxygen for new life. Hi, hello, lion below burning car needs oxygen for new life. So hi, H, hydrogen, H. Hello, He, helium, He. Lithium, Li, lion. Beryllium, Be, below. boron B, burning, carbon C, car, nitrogen N, needs, oxygen O, oxygen, oxygen is oxygen only, fluorine F for neon Na, new life. So like this, for memorizing the names of first 10 elements, we can use this mind trick. So hi, hello, lion below the burning car needs oxygen for new life. Okay, now we finished the elements. Pure substance is classified into elements and compounds. So now we have finished the elements. Let us see compounds. A compound is a substance made up of two or more elements chemically combined in a fixed proportion. Two or more elements, not a particular element, two or more elements combined in a fixed proportion. So if we take water means H2O, that means hydrogen, 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 oxygen combined to give water. So water is a compound and also it is a pure substance. Carbon dioxide, if we take carbon dioxide means CO2, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen, that means 1:2 ratio. So like that, two or more elements are combined in a fixed ratio, fixed proportion is called compounds. So it can be decomposed into two or more simpler substances by chemical methods. So we can separate some compounds into simpler substance by chemical methods, but in elements we cannot separate them by chemical methods, but compounds we can separate them by chemical methods. So examples of compounds are water, carbon dioxide, sodium chloride, that means salt, sugar. In sugar, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen is present there. So these are all elements for compounds. So if you are taking water means hydrogen and oxygen gives water, that means 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen gives water. Carbon dioxide means 1 carbon and 2 oxygen gives carbon dioxide. So this is the compound, that means two or more elements combined in a fixed proportion gives compounds. A compound has different properties than its constituent elements. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen are all the gas. So but sugar is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but sugar is a gas? No, it is a solid. So if they combined, if some elements are combined together, they will show a particular property which is differ from their original properties. So carbon, hydrogen, oxygen are combined to give sugar. It shows that sweet taste, solid crystal structure. So this shows the particular property differ from their original properties. So the component of a compound cannot be separated by physical methods. So that carbon, hydrogen, oxygen are present in sugar, we can separate them by physical methods? No, we cannot separate them by physical methods. By chemical methods we can separate the compounds. Okay, the next one is mixture. Now we are finished pure substance, that is elements and compounds. Now come to impure substance. I already said impure substance means mixture. A mixture is a substance which consists of two or more elements or compounds not chemically combined together. So a mixture contains more number of elements or compounds, elements and compounds. They are combined but they are not mixed chemically. They are just combined. So example for mixture means air. Air contains various gases, smoke, dust, everything. Sugar solution. In water, the presence of sugar will be there. So this is also an example for mixture. Ink, salad, petroleum, juices, mixture. So these are all example for mixture. If we take salad means various type of vegetables we cut and add. Okay, right, that juices means various type of juices we can prepare by adding sugar, by adding lemon extract, by adding water, a pinch of salt, like that. So juices are also comes under mixture. They are mixed together but they are not chemically mixed. They are just combined. That's all. So that is mixture. So a mixture can be separated into its constituents by physical processes. If you are buying a fruit mixture or fruit and nuts mixture means we can separate that. We can separate that groundnuts, curry leaves and nuts mixed in that mixture. So we can separate this like. So it is very easy to separate by physical process, by hand picking, by you are easily visualizing that by using your hand and fingers we can separate that into separated that into according to their characters. So like salad also, it is very visible, right? Cucumber, we can pick that cucumber and we can separate it. We can pick some tomatoes, we can pick some corns, so we can separate it into different categories. So like that, mixtures are very easy to separate also by physical method itself. So a mixture shows the properties of all the constituents present in it. So you are taking a dry fruit mixture means there will be cashew, there will be badam, there will be pista, there will be raisins. So it will show all the characters of that particles present in it. So it can be at any proportion. I need cashews more means I can add some 50 grams of cashew. If I need badam more means I can add badam. I don't need cashew means I can less that cashew ratio. So I am adding 50 grams of cashew means instead of that I can add only 30 grams. So there will be no fixed proportion. So we can add it to our convenience. So like that fruit salad, vegetable salad. If you are liking that oranges more means you can add orange pieces more in fruit salad. So if you like strawberry means we can add more strawberries. But your friend is not liking strawberry means he can take only less strawberries. So like that, mixture does not have a fixed proportion. Okay, mixture further classified into two types, homogeneous mixture and another one is heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means it looks like same, we cannot identify, we cannot separate them easily. But heterogeneous mixture means we can easily identify the particles present in it. You can take the tea. In tea we are adding milk, sugar, tea leaves as well as some water. So but after the tea preparation we can see only one color, only one layer of tea. That means one brown color tea formation. We can separate here this the sugar molecules, here there is a tea particle. We can tell them no, we cannot separate them because it's look like a same. So that is homogeneous. It is very looks like a same uniform. But heterogeneous mixture you can easily identify the particles present in it. So you can see the picture. So you can see there is a tomato, there is a corn, there is a cucumber. So we can easily identify this is a heterogeneous mixture. So homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. The first point is components are completely mixed together, that is uniformly distributed. So the difference in the homogeneous heterogeneous means in homogeneous the particles which present in that will be mixed together, that is uniformly distributed, it mixed together. So in tea we can see that sugar particles, the tea leaves are mixed together, that means uniformly distributed. But heterogeneous, they are partially mixed, they are not uniformly distributed. So that only we are able to find that various particles present in it. At the same time comes to homogeneous mixture, they are mixed evenly, hence it has uniform composition. If you are preparing tea means 1 spoon of sugar for one person, you are adding 1 spoon of sugar, 1 spoon of tea leaves. So they are all mixed evenly, so in uniform composition. But here they are mixed unevenly, so it does not have an uniform composition. They are mixed in our thought, in our convenience we are mixing it, so it is unevenly mixed. Not only salad, if you are taking some sand, in that sand you can able to find that small size of sand, large size of stones and medium size of pebbles. So they are mixed unevenly. But in some other places the sand will be a fine sand, but in particular place there will be, in construction sites if you are seeing means they will use that sand to construct the buildings like walls. So we can see there will be fine sand as well as the sand which is having sand, pebbles, stones. So they are mixed unevenly, so they does not have uniform composition. Coming to the homogeneous, their components present in homogeneous are not visible. That means they cannot be seen. We can see that particles present in it. No, if I am preparing sugar solution means or salt solution means I can see that only a normal form uniformly substance. That means I think that is a sugar solution. that is a salt solution. I can that only I said, but where the salt particles mixed in there. So in the bottom of the tumbler only the salt is there, but top of the tumbler there is not a salt. So I cannot say like that, because they are uniformly distributed, so that only the components are not visible to us. But in heterogeneous mixture the components are very visible, so that we can easily see the components. So for example, for homogeneous means sugar solution, tea, air, we are feeling that air, we cannot see it, we can feel that air. In air various type of gases present in it, nitrogen, oxygen, so various type of gases present in it, and also dust, smoke, these are also mixed in that air, but it looks like same, that means we can feel. So that air is also an example for homogeneous. But in heterogeneous mixtures, number eatable mixture, salad, sand and sugar mixture, I am mixing sand with sugar, I can say this is sand particle, this is sugar particle, because that color itself it varies, and also size, and also water and sand. I am mixing sand in water, I am keeping in tumbler of water, I am adding sand in it. That means I can see easily sand and water. So this is an example for heterogeneous mixture. I hope you all understand this session about elements, compounds, mixtures. Thank you students for spending your time in this video and learning a new thing. Thank you.